1 year ago, I ditched Apple for Android. A year on, I'm tempted to go back, and here's why. So yeah, welcome back. It has been a while since I have made a video, and in that time, a lot has changed. As you can see, I'm not in the garage anymore. I got married, got a house, and I have a new thing to unbox, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But basically, as I said in the intro, about this time last year, I ditched iPhone for Android, specifically a Nothing Phone 2. And that kind of goes against what I was used to for the past 10 years of using phones. I always had an iPhone. I started with a 5C, but I decided to jump ship to a Nothing Phone 2 for something that I'll tell you about later on. But a year later, after using Android, I'm really tempted to go back to iPhone. And I have one right here, the iPhone 17. And it's not mine, but I really wish it was. And especially after unboxing it and using it for a bit, I kind of really want to get one of my own, but this is my cameraman's. So yeah, without further ado, let's have a look at that unboxing. So we have in front of us here the iPhone 17. We've got the silicone case from Apple, and then we've got a third-party screen protector, which we're going to go ahead and unbox first because it's the least interesting. This may not be the most elegant unboxing because I don't understand this tape. Cool. I'm back. I'm so back. So interestingly, well look, box. It's a box. I rate this box 6 out of 10 boxes. There we go. Interestingly, these screen protectors are similar or identical to the ones that Dbrand made. I'm not sure if Dbrand made the design of clamping the case onto the phone and then sliding it out like that, but it's definitely in all their marketing, and it's the whole idea is like an idiot can apply this screen protector. So hopefully I can, and I don't completely butcher this. Instructions. I thought that was a razor. It's not a razor. It's an installation pad. Oh, okay, right. It smooths. It pushes out bubbles. Yeah, and then that's for the phone to sit on while you do it. That's nice. And yeah, we get 2 of them. Cool. Very, very exciting unboxing. I keep looking at this camera. Okay, on to the next one. This one's a little bit more premium. We've got the little pull tab here. Classic Apple pull tab. Nice. Love that. You know, in all my years of doing unboxings and being an Apple fanboy, I've never actually unboxed one of their own cases. I was going to say I've always gone third party. I've never actually owned, never really rocked a case on a phone before. It's always been skins. I prefer skins. Shout out to Dbrand. Can you please sponsor me one day? Thanks. Thank you, Cooper. But yeah, just your generic silicone case. Good materials. Not much to say about it. It's really not the most interesting case in the world. Can I help you at all? Yeah, thanks. Okay, okay, cool. Yep. No. Yep, thank you very much. It's good to know that you're interested in all of this, but you're not helping. Hey, what else we got? It's just a very chunky box. We're going to try and ignore the one distracting me right now. Chunky protective thing, cool. Cardboard, warranty stuff. Again, really exciting unboxing. The main event is coming up, don't worry. I do like the feel of these silicone cases, but I do have a feeling that it will just be such a dust and hair magnet. And I think fingerprints as well, especially this color. So not personally my cup of tea, but Alistair likes it. But now the main event, while you're all here for this wonderful video. Once again, it's just your... They're really not interesting anymore. In fact, what I may do after I've unboxed this is show you an old Apple thing that I bought recently that has a really interesting unboxing experience. And just... this just pales in comparison. But you know, simplicity, minimalism, it's all cool. It's got a place. And to be honest, these days, especially for phones, with what phones are like, you don't need a fancy unboxing because phones are just, they're phones. They're not really an experience anymore. They're just the latest thing. And I didn't realize there were 2 pull tabs. I'm going to do this again. Yeah, so for a moment there, I thought Apple had changed their tune and added a hinge to the box, but of course they haven't. But we have this elegant unboxing. And there's the phone. I remember reading or seeing a video or something a while back where Apple's attention to detail went as far as making this really slow and seemingly difficult to take the lid off, but you're really just meant to wait for it to unbox because you're getting that experience of it coming out slowly, which is just their signature overkill, but I love it. So, and there's the phone. I can tell Alistair's very jealous right now that he's not unboxing this. Again, nothing super exciting about it. The point I was making was that everything's basically the same nowadays, and especially with iPhones, that's literally all you get, and your information, nothing else, not even stickers anymore, which is really sad. Bring back the stickers. Everybody wants the stickers. Nobody ever used them. I personally have never used them for anything, but we want them because it's part of the experience. I rate this unboxing Apple out of 10. It's good, you know, it works as an unboxing, but it's nothing exciting, it's nothing special. That's always the best part. And again, Alistair's fuming behind the camera right now. This is my job. The last iPhone that I owned was 12 Pro, and the camera, when it's sitting on the table like that, obviously there's a bit of wobble, but this one's huge, and that caught me off guard there, so that's funny. We'll go ahead and switch this thing on. Oh, you want to pause here while we set this up? Yeah. No, come on. Okay, so we took a little break there to set up the phone, put the case on it, but the interesting thing now is going to be trying out these screen protectors. And for this, I'm not actually going to be the one doing it. I'm going to get Alistair to come around off camera, we'll swap, and he can, okay, it's not been set up, he can give it his best to try and get this screen protector on.
So we're going to put the screen protector onto the new phone we've got, so let's see how it goes. So you've got to peel this bit off on the back. It should just come off like so. Step that to the side. And then it says, basically you've got the top side and then the bottom, so that kind of just hovers over. You should press that in. And then basically you can see it says we've got wait for 30 seconds, so cue fun music.
Okay, we're back. Sometime later, took a while to get this set up and to apply the screen protector, but Alistair did a decent job. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, that is an iPhone 17. There's not a huge amount to say about the phone that doesn't involve the cameras. You know, you're running iOS 26. What I wanted to do, because again, the iPhone 17, yeah, it's an iPhone, whatever, is just sort of discuss this unboxing. So what I said earlier was that Apple unboxings lately tend to be some kind of, essentially a variant of, you have a box, you take the lid off the box very slowly when it wants to actually come off. You get what I mean. You take it off, you're presented with a device, and that's it. Way back in the day, devices and technology in general had this sort of experience when you were unboxing it. So what I bought recently from eBay was none other than Apple's iSight camera, which is massive, first of all, comparing the boxes here. And when I opened this, I was pleasantly surprised with just what the experience was like. So I'm going to walk through that for the sake of it, because it's fun. So first of all, you're getting the outer shell case, slip case? I don't know what you call that. And then it gets a bit more snazzy on the inside where it folds out. And then you're presented with designed by Apple in California. You go to the left, it says enjoy. And then underneath you have accessories and stuff and your information booklets and everything. And that's really nice. You put that off to the side, come over to the other side, and then you have your device there. You can tell that this was a product of its time because it's packaged with a lot of styrofoam and not paper and carbon neutral stuff Apple goes for now. But overall, the unboxing experience was just more involved. There's more steps to it, and it really felt like it was this experience that you were going through to get this brand new exciting product. Whereas now, much like phones themselves, it's not that exciting anymore. It's just an unboxing to get to a phone, and that's it. But it's a cool phone. That's cool and all. But back to the main point of the video, why I switched from iPhone which I obviously love using and collect many of them, why I switched from iPhone over to Android, and particularly Nothing. So it was about actually this time last year, I went full boomer, and I had a bit of an epiphany about phones, and something clicked in my brain. It was like, phone's bad, phone's bad. And the reason that I thought that was because I was just sitting on the train one day and I saw somebody sitting in front of me, and they were just on their phone, like as everybody is. They were on Facebook scrolling through their feed, but they weren't stopping and reading anything. And then after 5 seconds, 10 seconds, they were bored of that, switched over to Instagram, did the exact same thing, went through a few stories, nothing held their attention, got bored of that, went over to Twitter, started scrolling again, got bored of that, went over to Messenger. Same thing over and over, and then basically looped back around to Facebook and just did the same thing over and over. And I thought, that's really depressing to see from an outside perspective. And I had the feeling that I was sort of getting into that rhythm as well, of just whenever I was bored at some point, or waiting for something, or sitting on the train, get out the phone, scroll, not really collect anything. It's doom scrolling, you get the concept. So my grand epiphany, whatever, was I need to have some kind of device that, you know, still is functional. I can still use day to day, but I'm not going to be so automatic to pick up and just scroll or open something. So I had a whole range of ideas. One of them was even getting an Apple Watch and getting, I don't know if anybody knows it, it's called TinyPod, little attachment for your Apple Watch, which I want to review someday, and using that as a phone instead, just having the essentials. Didn't work out. So then I did something that nobody expected. I didn't even expect, and that was jumping ship over to Android, because I thought I'm so familiar with iOS. Switching over to an Android phone will be, I think, enough of a barrier where the phone is still functional, very, very functional, but I'm just not as experienced in the UI and navigating through it. So slowing down how much I'm using the phone would be a big part of that. And thankfully, Nothing exists. Nothing's entire philosophy with their UI and their phones is minimalism and keeping distractions to a minimum as well. So I was like, perfect. And to top it all off, they make budget phones. They don't make top of the range high-end ones, apart from the Nothing Phone 3, so that's a different conversation. But I thought, that's perfect. That's something that I can just easily switch to if I want to. So I went with the Nothing Phone 2. And yes, the reason I went with that was for the gimmick of having the lights on the back. And if I take another phone here, it's handy having so many phones on set, and just send myself a message saying, oh, what does this say? It says subscribe. It says subscribe. Send that. There we go. Flashy lights, gimmick is cool. The simple thing of just having my phone facing down the way, so that I was much less inclined to just, again, automatically go over, pick it up, and just open it. Again, just that little bit of friction of having to turn the phone over and then unlock was the simplest thing. So having this light here, knowing that I had a notification, was great. That was the answer to it. So for the past year, that has been my answer, is having the phone face down. If there's a light on it, there's a notification. If there's no light, I'm fine. And then something changed at my work. We switched to Slack. So our group chat was always on WhatsApp, and WhatsApp was fine. If you opened the notification on desktop, then this light would disappear because WhatsApp's like, cool, no need to show that anymore. Slack is not like that. Slack is not as smart as that. So if a Slack notification is ever sent, this phone lights up and it will not go away unless I swipe away on the phone itself, even if I check on desktop or another device or something. Which sounds really simple, but it diminishes this whole gimmick if this doesn't work properly. So unfortunately, I resorted to just having the phone face up at work, which again kind of defeats the whole point. But I'm happy to say that I'm not in the habit of just automatically picking up anymore at this point. And like even on the train or something, I make sure to not be just scrolling for the sake of it. It's only if like it's a really long journey or something or I'm by myself. But if I'm on a packed train, I just kind of sit there and stare out the window. Ever since Apple's announcement of the iPhone 17 and the Pro and the Air was the really nice one that kind of got me. It made me miss iOS because using Android, yeah, sure, there is that friction there, but also anytime I've tried Android, I tried it 10 years ago when I switched to an S6 Edge, and then I tried obviously with this. I just don't like it. straight up, I just don't like using it, and I really miss iOS. The ecosystem, the range of apps that you get on there are just way more polished, and I want to go back to that. For the time being though, I am using the Nothing phone. I'm going to keep on using that until I'm financially stable, because again, I got married and house and stuff, so it's expensive doing that. But when I'm financially stable, I'd love to go back to iPhone, and especially the 17 Pro with those cameras. But for now, my journey with Nothing continues. I will update if I do ever change, which hopefully is soon, especially now that Alistair has this fancy new phone with iOS 26, which is just so nice to, like, even just swiping, I want that again. Android just ain't it. Okay, I may have been a bit harsh there. Android, it isn't bad. It's actually a very good, very competent operating system, but for me, it just doesn't work. It's the ecosystem of Apple that I like, as well as, honestly, I really like iOS 26. I love the look of it. I love what they've gone for. The fact that they're ditching the flat UI and going back to a little bit of skeuomorphism, that's my jam. I love that kind of stuff. But that being said, I do love just a classic unboxing experience. And that's what the Unboxing channel is all about. I know I didn't go into massive in-depth about the specs of the new iPhone, because everybody knows the cameras are both 48 megapixels now. Yay. Everybody knows the front-facing camera's got the square sensors, so you can do all this stuff. Yay. You've seen all these videos before. I really wanted to talk about just my experience of going from iOS to Android and now wanting to go back to iOS. The 17 is an amazing phone. It's brilliant. I personally, if I'm spending that much money, I would want to go just that little bit further and get the 17 Pro. Like I said before, the Air really did capture my attention and made me want to go back to iOS in general. But like I say, if I'm spending that much money, I need something that's not just a fun gimmick, but actually a good tool. So I would love a 17 Pro. And if and when that review, unboxing, whatever comes out, then you can find it right here, as long as you subscribe. If you're watching this video after being subscribed for a very long time, thank you very much. I want to make more videos in a different style than they were before. Obviously, this one was a little bit different. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this channel goes, and it's a new step. So hopefully I don't take another year to upload the next video. And if you enjoyed this, like if you like it. I'm out of practice here, let's try again. Like if you like it, subscribe if you feel like it. And I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be.